Let's pivot to a recent health update featured in a Fox broadcast. While the internet is currently buzzing with wild theories, which we break down in our video, a medical expert has offered a perspective that wins away from anything suspicious. From a clinical standpoint, looking at how everything unfolded, the evidence strongly suggests this was simply a sudden fatal cardiac event.
From a medical point of view, the way this is panning out, the most likely thing is that he had a heart attack, because 350,000 cases a year of cardiac arrest occur in this country outside the hospital, and it's very hard to bring anyone back from that. Less than 10% you can do that. And there are reports now that he had some chest pain. And, you showed those photos of him with Zelensky a couple of days ago. He looked like he was in very good health. And there's also videos of him talking to him. He wasn't short of breath. He didn't look like he was in any distress. Now, you go on a long plane flight, you can develop blood clots, which could be another cause of this. You could have a pulmonary embolus. But most of the time, this ends up being an arrhythmia or a sudden heart attack where you don't get enough blood flow to the heart. That's most of the time. The family is in the driver's seat with this. Less than 5% of families, according to Michael Bodna, who I spoke to this morning, a great forensic pathologist that we all know well, less than 5% of the time you're going to have an autopsy here. They may disclose what they think the cause of death is here, but they said a brief and sudden illness. My suspicion is that would be something related to chest pains or heart. And I don't think that. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, and it sounds like from staff that they did not detect any kind of anything was wrong last night when they last saw him.
And I think that's true too. That, it's not like this was a smoldering infection or something like that. I look really carefully at that video. There was no sign of it when he was in Ukraine. And so I think it's most likely that it's something to do with the heart. A few different ideas. One is an arrhythmia where your heart starts beating irregularly. One is where you don't get enough oxygen to the heart. They tried CPR. That was reported on the scene. They tried CPR. That was not able to bring him back, which also. Another thing for the public out there is that 71 years old, this is an age where this starts to happen more. 25 to 30% of all cardiac arrests that occur are to people over 70. So your late 60s, your early 70s, this is when it starts to occur. You may feel that you're in really good health. And I don't know the particulars of how often he was checked, how often he was seen. But for our viewers, you need to be seen more as you get older, and you need to have your heart checked. And even then, this can happen.
Well, hopefully he was seeing a doctor. We know that the Congress has phenomenal care for members of Congress. There's a physician who attends to them if they need that. The president in his tweet this morning, or his Truth Social this morning, talked about how he was working all the time. You mentioned this very long plane ride and some of the dangers of that. And then Chad Pergram was on a little earlier and said, you know what, the last times that I've seen Senator Lindsey Graham, he looks really worn down. He worked really hard. How could that have played into it?
Well, are you sleeping enough? We know that more and more studies are showing that sleep is rejuvenating. Are you exercising enough? How much exercise are you getting? Here's something about plane flight, Rachel, that people don't know. It's not just that you're sitting there and that you can build up a chance of a blood clot. Did you know that the oxygen content in the cabin is never exactly what you want it to be? So if you're having an issue with your heart, you're more likely to bring it on because of plane flight, because you're not getting the same amount of oxygen pressure that you would outside of.
So, as we just discussed, Lindsey Graham was often viewed as a master of political maneuvering, yet it's undeniable that he had moments of genuine, unfiltered honesty. Let's wrap up this segment with some of the most profound words he left behind, a bit of wisdom to carry with us on our own journey through life.
Here's what I can tell you, that life can change just like that. Don't take it for granted. Don't take relationships for granted.